Now we're in the red zone. And no, I'm not talking about the score. No, I'm talking danger. What is up, everybody? My name is Advance, and this is Advance Sports Talk. So, Buccaneers had the Chiefs. I knew this was a heavyweight, and much to my expectations, I knew that we was capable of hanging with the Chiefs. Problem is, we couldn't pull it together until the third quarter, or halfway through the second quarter, really. So, what went wrong? Now, first I'm going to get into the end result. So, the Chiefs beat the Buccaneers 27-24. Right? 3 points. Actually, the game wasn't that close. So, let's rewind. Back to the first quarter of the game. I did a little rant on my Facebook page that you can probably find Advanced Sports Talk on Facebook. I'll probably link it at the end of this video. But yeah, so the Chiefs had one of the most impressive first quarter games. They had the most impressive first quarter in any game throughout the existence of time, except maybe in college football. Tyreek Hill gets over 200 yards. Now, something that usually takes a receiver an entire game to do. Not a lot of them really get over 100. Like, you'll have some that have consecutive 100-yard games, but I mean, how many of them get to 200? Tyreek Hill, 200 yards receiving, 2 touchdowns. What happened? They had Carlton Davis on him in single coverage throughout most of the first half. Tyreek Hill is a top 3 receiver. You got the top 3 receiver on your guy. Now, Carlton Davis is good, but Tyreek Hill is elite. You know, like, so he's a top 3 receiver. And him and these other 2 receivers usually alternate between first, second, and third. The other 2 being DeAndre Hopkins and Michael Thomas. You don't leave a guy like that in single press one-on man-to-man coverage. Single coverage. So, because Carlton Davis was getting beat a lot without no safety help, that's what allowed Tyreek Hill, and in turn Kansas City, to jump up the way that they did in the first quarter. And then on top of that, Tyreek Hill did it in like the most embarrassing way possible. He did it like he knows we only play them once a year, or once this year, and we're not going to see him again for another 4 years. So yeah, he was taunting. He did a backflip into the end zone on a very Deshaun Jackson-like way. As angry as I was at the time, I can't help but look back on that and laugh. Like, wow. But, you know, the joke was on our defense. You know, like, they thought Carlton Davis was going to be enough, and then he had no safety help. So they doubled Tyreek Hill. Mahomes was like, oh, okay, well, I'll just throw it to Kels. And then they never, like, thought to double team Kels until halfway through the second quarter. And, you know, but by then, damage is already done. We're down 21-3. So, you know, what are we going to do? They finally did get it together. So they put double teams on Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce, and then just took Sammy Watkins and Mecole Hardman and the other guy. And they pretty much said, all right, we'll take our chances with them on man-to-man. Now, those are guys that our corners can cover. But Kelce and Hill, they are superhuman. Then the defense finally had a better time managing the game. But, you know, if it was still 0-0, you know, that would have been perfect, but not. And I'm not saying that I expected to pitch a shutout against Kansas City. That's ridiculous, because I've actually been on record saying that Patrick Mahomes is better, or on a track to be better than Tom Brady. You know, because like I've never seen Tom Brady do a no look pass several times and it be complete. So, you know, there's that. But, you know, with even with Tyreek Hill and Kels, even with them being isolated, you know, Patrick Mahomes is a beast. There's no way of getting around saying that. You know, he's a beast. And I'm glad I only got to play him once every 4 years, to be honest with you. But in any case, getting into the offense, my offense. So, third quarter, towards the end of the half, Tom Brady hits a touchdown pass to Mike Evans. So now it's 21-10. We still in this, right? 21-10 going into halftime. So we come out and Tom Brady is doing his thing, brought us back. So Kansas City, he actually threw a couple of interceptions, and this is where the defense has to be credited, because like not only did they generate the turnover when they needed it, but you know, they was actually on the times when Tom Brady actually threw an interception, they was actually able to keep them out of the end zone. So despite that whole debacle that happened in the first quarter, and I hate to pull a Donald Trump, but if you take away the first quarter, you know, Buccaneers win the game. But unfortunately, first quarter is there. I don't have the ability to manipulate reality. So yeah, that's what happens. Third and fourth quarter, Tom Brady comes out, starts turning into the dragon that he is. And yeah, coincidental shirt choice. But yeah, like he turns into the dragon that he is and starts breathing fire, throwing bombs over Baghdad, brings us back to 24-7. 4.5 minutes left in the game, and Mahomes runs out the clock. The defensive stops that I mentioned, both of those ended in field goals. The times that they made it down into the red zone. Really, the frustrating thing about this that any Bucs fan can go through is the fact that probably should have been doing this in the first quarter, because Tom Brady had 3 3-and-outs, and I think he only had like maybe 1 third down conversion in the first quarter, which was followed by a 3-and-out. You know, so I mean, that getting that first down didn't really do nothing. So we ended up having to punt the ball again. This has been a theme that I've noticed in the last 4 games. 3 out of the last 4 games with New Orleans, LA, and Kansas City. You know, Carolina after the New Orleans, you know, we bounced back and we beat them soundly. But, you know, that don't mean nothing. Luckily, we are still 2 games ahead of everybody else, but we're on a bye week this week. So if Minnesota and Chicago win, hold on, actually let me double check that. If Minnesota, Chicago, or the 49ers win this week, they'll be within 1 game of us. So we'll be in trouble. That's why I was saying we had to keep pace with the NFC. We can't allow ourselves to lose too many games. But it's 4 games left, so we have a chance to win out and go 11-5. No, in the video that I did when we lost to the Saints, I said then 2 more losses. That's all we have room for. 2 more losses. That's it. So coming back from the break, we play Minnesota, a tiebreaker. So that gives us a chance to knock one of those teams out. But we got to win out to go to the playoffs anyway, so we don't have to worry about that. So we got Minnesota, we got Atlanta, division opponent. So we beat Atlanta. That brings our division wins to 3-2. Then we had the Lions after Atlanta, and then we got Atlanta again. So if we beat Atlanta, that means we would have swept 2 opponents in our division. And our division wins are 4-2. And what's best about our last 4 games, that they're all NFC matchups. They're all NFC conference matchups. So that helps our standing in the playoff race. So as it stands right now, with the Seahawks winning on Monday night, the Saints are sitting at number 1 at 9-2. The Seahawks are in first place in their division at 8-3. The Packers are first in their division at 8-3. Right now, it looks like if the playoffs was to start right now, we would play the Packers. Let's hope they didn't adjust. And then in fourth, is the Giants at 4-7. That could change as the wind blows. You never know. But it's looking like that they're the team to beat in that division. Unless Carson Wentz pulls his head out of his ass, I guess. So, wild card positions are as follows: LA Rams, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Arizona Cardinals. So, we just got to do what we got to do to keep those other 3 teams out. The Vikings, the Bears, and the 49ers. In any case, I've gone on enough about the Bucs. 27-24. I hope they really nail some things down in this bye week. I'm going to do another video on like all the rumors and stuff that people are starting, dissension in the ranks, etc., etc., etc. But in any case, moving on. All right, so we're going to start on Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. I hope that everybody is stuffed and, yeah, getting ready to get that Christmas turkey now. But in any case, so Houston Texans versus the Detroit Lions. And the Texans have really bounced back since firing Bill O'Brien. Texans beat the Lions 41-25. Now I'm also taking into account that this is the Lions. So, yeah, Deshaun Watson dropping 300 yards passing and 4 touchdowns. Adrian Peterson is still healthy. Wow. Will Fuller had over 170 yards receiving. Man. Hold up. Will Fuller is healthy. Man, Corona is crazy. Corona season is crazy. In any case, all right, that was the first Thanksgiving game. Second Thanksgiving game. The team formerly known as the Washington Redskins versus the Dallas Cowboys and Indians? Really? On Thanksgiving, a lot of people was expecting the Cowboys to thoroughly dominate this game, but they too was beaten with a team with no name. Jerry Jones, how you feeling? Man, Zeke only got 32 yards rushing? Wow. I guess right about now is usually when I would say, Jerry Jones don't care about black people. Yeah, every week. Oh wait, but I also say, man, fuck the Cowboys, I'm rooting for that. Yeah, you know what you did. In any case, 41-16 in the revenge of the Redskins, unofficially. It's also funny how both teams that played on Thanksgiving and won beat the featured Thanksgiving team with the score of 41. Interesting. Next up, Las Vegas Raiders versus the Atlanta Falcons. And man, the Falcons, I guess they got tired of getting kicked around or shot with pellets or whatever Falcons do. Whatever people do to Falcons. Man, like, they beat the Raiders 43-6. Alright, the LA Chargers versus the Buffalo Bills. Buffalo Bills beat the Chargers 27-17. And in this game marks the return of a very special individual that we haven't seen since week 1, Austin Eckler. And I'm glad that he's back because the Chargers didn't know what they was doing with their running back situation. They had Justin Jackson, they had Joshua Kelly, they had Ballage. Like, oh man. Yeah, Austin Eckler was actually their leading receiver for that game. But anyway, Bills beat the Chargers 27-17. New York Giants versus the Cincinnati Bengals. The Bengals' first game without Joe Burrow. Yeah, Danny Dimes throwing for 200 yards. Giants beat the Bengals 19-17. Tennessee Titans versus the Indianapolis Colts. And Derrick Henry ran amok. 178 yards rushing and 3 touchdowns. A.J. Brown almost got 100 yards receiving at 98. T.Y. in the biggest game that he's had this year. T.Y. Hilton, 81 yards receiving. And his first touchdown of the season. T.Y.'s back. I hope. The Titans beat the Colts 45-25, avenging a loss that they suffered earlier in the season. Baker Mayfield finally returning to the height that he was attempting to live up to, throwing for 258 yards and 2 touchdowns. Oh, snap. And another guy that I haven't seen in a while, Mike Glennon, former Buccaneer. Dang, I'm so sorry you got drawn into Greg Schiano's politics. Throwing for 235 yards and 2 touchdowns. This was actually a game. Jarvis Landry had 143 yards receiving. Colin Johnson, 96 yards receiving. The Browns beat the Jaguars 27-25. The Carolina Panthers versus the Minnesota Vikings. And I was almost excited for this game because I thought Bridgewater was going to be out. But alas, no PJ Walker. But we saw him last week, so we know he still got it, that's for sure. Anyway, Teddy Bridgewater threw for 267 yards and 1 touchdown and 1 interception. And Kirk Cousins threw for 307 yards and 3 touchdowns. So the Vikings narrowly beat the Panthers 28-27. The Arizona Cardinals versus the New England Patriots. So Kenyon Drake has returned to form, rushing for 78 yards and 2 touchdowns. DeAndre Hopkins, in the first game in a while that he hasn't gotten he hasn't gotten 100 yards. He's only gotten 55 yards receiving. I think he's more than got his 1,000 yards for the season, though. Close. He's got 967, but I think he'll get there. I just have a sneaky feeling that he'll get there. Patriots beat the Cardinals 20-17. And I was about to yell out Tua like I usually do, but then I see that Ryan Fitzpatrick is back as the starting quarterback for Miami Dolphins. All right, so Miami Dolphins versus the New York Jets. Ryan Fitzmagic came in throwing for 257 yards and 2 touchdowns. Lit the Jets up completely. Man, Dolphins beat the Jets 20-3. So New Orleans Saints versus the Denver Broncos. So I think everybody expected this to be a more or less a one-sided game, because I know COVID has started touching some of these teams, but man, COVID just rolled over the Denver Broncos. Like, oh man, like he just rolled over, wiped his feet on them and everything. Like their first, second, and third string quarterback all was diagnosed or asymptomatic with COVID-19. That is nuts. Like, what was y'all doing? And then on top of that, the backup? Like, bruh, you had one job. Wear one of these. Wear one of these and you get your time to shine. But, nah. Buy my mask. Oh man, this was a whooping, y'all. Latavius Murray rushed for 124 yards. Yes, you heard me correctly. Latavius Murray rushed for 124 yards. Not Alvin Kamara. Latavius Murray. What did Alvin Kamara get? Alvin Kamara only had 54 yards. So they probably rushed him a little bit And then they sat him down for the rest of the game, man. Oh my God. Like, man. The Saints beat the Broncos 31-3. San Francisco 49ers versus the LA Rams. And proving that the Buccaneers should have definitely beat the Rams, the 49ers beat the Rams 23-20. Nick Mullins throwing for 252 yards. No touchdowns, 1 interception. Jared Goff threw 2 interceptions. Deebo Samuel, 133 yards receiving. No other receiver came close. Oh, because Brandon Ayuk was out this game. In any case, moving on. Chicago Bears versus the Green Bay Packers. Almost identical quarterback play. Trubisky. Wait, Mitch Trubisky. Mitch Trubisky threw for 30 yards more than Aaron Rodgers. He had 242. Aaron Rodgers had 211. Trubisky had 3 touchdowns. Aaron Rodgers had 4 touchdowns. But Trubisky, in Trubisky fashion, threw 2 interceptions. David Montgomery had 103 yards rushing, while Aaron Jones had 90 yards rushing. Oh man, Robert Tonyan caught all 5 of his targets for 67 yards. That's 11.7 fantasy points. Somebody out there is thanking me right now. Yeah, Devontae Adams didn't get a lot of passing yards this game either. That's impossible. His name is Devontae. Did y'all know that? If your first name is Devontae, you're guaranteed to be the fastest receiver, one of the fastest receivers in football. Packers beat the Bears 41-25. Alright, and I talked about this already, briefly. The Seattle Seahawks versus the Philadelphia Eagles. This was a game the Eagles should have won. Yeah, the defense really stopped them from scoring any major points in the second half. So they only had 2 touchdowns in the first half. Both of those being in the second quarter. But man, I don't know. I hope they get whatever they get together. Man, DK Metcalf, 177 yards receiving, 10 out of 13 targets. And to think, J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, hold up, did he even dress for the game? I heard somebody say that he don't even dress for the game anymore, but yeah, like, I don't need to look to know that he didn't get any catches. Last but not least, Baltimore Ravens. So, with this team, just like how I was talking about COVID with the Denver Broncos. So, COVID targeted the Ravens in such a precision-like manner. It was weird. So, first, it was Mark Ingram, then J.K. Dobbins, Mark Andrews, then Lamar Jackson. Or maybe it was Lamar Jackson, then Mark Andrews. But the only thing that matters is I found out about Mark Andrews' diagnosis when it was too late for me to draft a replacement or replace him with another tight end on my fantasy team. But in any case, such is life. So so your starting quarterback, your starting running back, your backup running back, and your star tight end. And Nick Boyle is already out, so now they're down to the 3rd string tight end. So yeah, it's like COVID just took out just enough pieces to make the Ravens, like, to get the Ravens to lose this game, man. But I will say this though. It was still a game. Because the Steelers only beat them 19-14. Now, you know I always say it doesn't matter whether it's by an inch or by a mile, winning is winning. But this was not an impressive showing. I mean, Big Ben threw for 266 yards and 1 touchdown, but he threw 1 interception. And like a team this ravaged by injuries, You only beat them by 5 points, and it's under 20. So, I mean, a win is a win, and y'all still, a win is a win. And the Steelers are 11-0, but like, by the time they get to the playoffs, are they gonna have anything left? But I guess it's why it's good that they got that bye, I guess. But I don't know, but we'll see. Steelers beat the Ravens 19-14. That is a testament. That's got to be a testament to the defense, because the Steelers defense came to life last year when they got the Minkah Fitzpatrick trade. And you know, the Ravens has always had they've always had a top 10 defense, maybe even top 5 defense. I don't know about this year, but you know, so I guess it was more of a defensive battle between the two. So hey, good for them. That's still good coming down the stretch though. Ravens are 6-5. They can still make it. You know, if the Browns are currently holding that wild card spot though. I'm gonna have to do a playoff video. That'll probably come tomorrow. But yeah, so that was the breakdown. 5 weeks left in total. 4 games left for the Bucks. Bucks is on a bye this week, so I don't have to worry about stressing myself out. Don't forget to check out my social media. Advanced Sports Talk on Facebook, Advanced 110 on Instagram. Come holler at your boy. Got my merch on teespring.com. Link will be in the description, or I might put it on this video. Cop a shirt. Show your boy that you support him. Got masks. I'm gonna have hats soon. This is not my merch. This is a placeholder, but hey, bucks. In any case, that was the breakdown. My name is Advance. Like, share, subscribe on everything. I'm out.